What's going on, my loves? Mystic at the Crossroads. Thank you so much for joining. In today's video, we are going to be discussing doing spell work for others. Specifically, if you are a novice, if you are new to your magical practice, new to your magical journey, if you're just starting out, should you be utilizing your energy? Should you be practicing magic for someone else? Now, it is a known fact that we all have people in our lives that are close to us, whether this is a best friend, a family member, a coworker, whoever it is that's near and dear to our hearts. And from time to time, things happen, situations occur in people's lives, and we are going to be inclined to want to offer some sort of support, try to help out if we can. It's interesting that I find when you're on a spiritual journey, whether or not the people around you are aware of that, typically, especially if you're an empath, people will tend to gravitate towards you and tell you their problems and the things that they have going on. And when you are into magic or when you are an empath, it's just a natural instinctual thing to want to lend some sort of help and support. But should you really be doing that? Is it safe? Is it okay? Will it work? That's what we're going to get into today. So, first and foremost, I want you to think about something for a second. What is magic? Magic is tuning in, tapping in, and aligning with a vibrational frequency that is the same frequency as whatever the situation is that needs to be altered, or if you're doing something like attracting, whether that's for prosperity or for love or for healing, you are utilizing a ritualistic set of tools, prayers, incantations, and you're performing this ritual with all of these items that vibrate at that same frequency. Performing magic can be very simple, very easy, or it can be very complex. It all depends on what you're working on and also where your level is. And there are levels to magic. We'll get into that a little bit deeper in another video. So let's say, for example, you're starting off your journey and you've done some work for yourself. So maybe you've done some healing work. Maybe you've done some prosperity to draw in some money or get a new job or sweeten your relationships around yourself or meet a new partner, whatever it is. And you've had some successful spells, okay? I do truly believe, clearly, spells work. They do. There's a number of reasons why they don't work, and again, that's a separate video. You can look at that one after this one. But for the most part, if a spell is done correctly, if the intention is, I can't say right or wrong because that's your intention, but if the intention behind your work, depending on what you're working towards, is for the right reasons, whatever those reasons are, if the proper tools are utilized, if the timing is calculated, and if the energy is harnessed, you will have a successful ritual. What I mean by harnessing energy is, what is it that you do to raise the vibration around your spell? So do you chant? Do you meditate? Do you dance? Do you visualize? Do you write? Do you go out under the moonlight at midnight under a tree? Do you burn? Do you call down spirits? Do you call upon your angels, ancestors, deities, or spirit guides? Whatever you do to activate that. Do you utilize, sex magic? Any of those things is harnessing and bringing up that chi, bringing up that fire, bringing up that energy, and directing it into your tools in order to send you whatever it is you're asking for out to the ethers, okay? When performing spell work for another person, and performing spell work for yourself can be, and typically is, a very draining process. Again, depending on the type of ritual that you're doing, it can be very draining. So imagine doing this for someone else and whatever situation it is that they are needing to work on, whether that's to attract something, whether that's to remove something, whether that's to improve something, okay? That's a lot of energy that you have to be able to harness. And when you're doing spell work for another person, you are essentially connecting to that person. You're connecting to their energy. If you're doing a spell for that person that wants a spell done on another person to maybe bring them together or to kind of change the course of wherever things are headed in whatever situation, then you are connecting to both individual people and directing that energy towards them to create the results that you want. That in itself is a lot of mental, spiritual, emotional, and physical pulls on you, energy that you're exerting. Number two is when you're doing spell work for other people, you have to keep in mind people have spirits, angels, guardians, demons, call them what you want to call it. But everybody, most people are born with angels. Some people are born with demons. But everybody has some type of spiritual force around them, some type of energy around them that they have created throughout the years. If you're dealing with someone who's a middle-aged adult, then that is a whole 20, 30, 40 years of them being involved in encountering other people and situations, and that's energy that is around them. So also, in addition to that, people do have spirit guides or may have protection around them. That's one of the reasons why people have ceremonies where they baptize or they christen babies or they do some type of protection around children. When babies are first born, they do whatever culture you're in, they all have some type of sacred ceremony that they do. And the purpose of that is to protect that person as they go through life. So if you're trying to do spell work for them on their behalf or on their behalf including with another person, they may have some protective barriers around them that will not let you enter, that will not allow your spell to be effective, that because they're protected, their protectors could very well attack you, not knowing what it is that you're doing. They could very well come after you. So that's something to think about when you're considering, should you do a spell for someone else? Another thing is people have karma. I say this countless times. You cannot get revenge on karma, and magic and spells do not work on karma. Karma is karma. And you can do all the spells that you want. You can do spells for other people, but if they have whatever energy they have coming back to them for whatever reason, and we all have karma, even the nicest people, upstanding citizens, you pay your taxes, you don't kill flies, whatever. We all create karma because what goes out is going to return in some way, shape, form, or fashion. So if this individual that's coming to you or you're offering to help them alleviate their problem or change the situation, you have to ask yourself, is this a karmatic situation that they're going through? Now, when we love people, we tend to be a little biased and we tend to say, oh, they didn't deserve that. Oh, they're such a good person. Oh, da 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 da. Whatever it is, but you don't live inside of that person. And I don't care how close to them they are to you. It could be a parent, it could be a spouse, it could be a child, it could be your twin. They are their individual selves, and you do not live inside of their head. You do not live inside of their body. And no matter how well you think you know someone, everybody has certain things that they keep to themselves. And whatever that is could very well be what's coming back that they're dealing with. People have generational karma and generational curses. So a person could be dealing with a situation that is something that is passed down to the bloodline and through the lineage, which is very difficult to break. A simple spell won't do that anyway. But if you're dealing with somebody who has this flu of bad luck, let's say, and you want to do a spell to help them clear it up or banish it or reverse it or bring in whatever it is that they are suffering from, meaning if they're broke, you want to help them bring some money. If they broke up, you want to bring their partner back, whatever. Do you really want to deal with that? Like, do you want to get yourself involved in that? Do you want to link your energy to this person's situation and get wrapped up in it? Gotta think about that. Like they say, there's some things you just kind of keep your nose out of. That might be one of them. Another thing to consider when you're doing spiritual work for someone is what did they do to get themselves in this situation? I'm going to use this as an example. I'm not saying this is straight across the board because I know some people will be like, that's not true. But as an example, let's say legal cases, okay, court case spells, which is something that I'm very selective on the type of spells cases that I take on and how they have to be performed. Court cases are by far one of the most complex type of spiritual spells ever that you could work on. And I'm not talking little small claims court, but just, big stuff. But anyway, not to go too far off topic. You want to help somebody because they have a legal case coming up. Well, again, what did they do to get themselves in the legal situation in the first place? Legal cases typically, again, this is not for everybody. I know this doesn't apply to everyone, but typically when you are dealing with a legal case, it is the result of some type of choice that you made that probably wasn't the best one. You don't just get subpoenaed to court for no reason. So when you're dealing with someone, for example, you want to get a loved one out of jail. Well, is it really worth doing that spell if they're just going to go back? Is it really worth getting them out of trouble? Are they going to learn their lesson? If you're dealing with someone that this seems to kind of be a multiple ongoing situation for them, or whatever the reason was, if they did something that got themselves into this position, and I know some people say, oh, wrong place, wrong time. Well, that was still a decision. Whether you were in the wrong place at the wrong time, you made a decision to be there, whatever the case is. So you see what I'm saying? Like, do you, again, want to link yourself to that energy? Because remember, when you do spells for other people, you are taking on, and when you're done, you're still walking away with a little bit of whatever it is that you've worked on. When you're doing spells for other people, you are changing the course of direction that a person is headed on. There can very well be some consequences. When you're doing spell work for other people, the energy that they're carrying can start to manifest in your reality. You ever notice, and comment down below if this happens to you, you ever notice how, have you ever had somebody close to you that it seems like everything you want to work on or everything you want to manifest, this other individual, like every time they're around you, something good happens to them? Or things that should have been going to you, somehow it ends up going to them? Or you're involved with someone who is, energetically needing to work on themselves, and all of a sudden you sit up and you listen to them bitch and whine and complain about their problems, and then all of a sudden whatever funky energy or stuff they have going on in their life starts to oddly happen to you. Now imagine what that effect will be if you decide to dabble and use your energy to fix their problem. Okay? So this is another thing to consider. And please, this video isn't to discourage you. People are going to do what they want to do spell work for those that you care about or not. However, if you're a novice and you're still learning how to protect yourself, you're still learning how to harness energy, you are very new to the occult, or you don't really have the fundamentals down, then you might want to really keep your magic and your energy solely for yourself. I do a lot of research and I see other practitioners on YouTube, and I've read tons of books and all of this stuff throughout the years, and I find that you can go online, you can Google a spell, you can watch a YouTube video, you can be told step by step how to do stuff. But unless the individual telling you how to do this breaks down things to the finest molecule so you can comprehend why things are done a certain way, or what it is, the reason behind utilizing specific tools and candles and the way that they're prepared. If you don't really have that fundamentals down, then there's a disconnect. And it's like you're sitting there lighting a candle and letting it burn, and someone will say, well, it's the law of attraction. Okay, well, how does that work? How does the law of attraction work? What does it mean to light the flame on the candle? What does it mean for the candle to burn down with the wick? What does it mean to dress the candle a certain way? These are things that you should know before you even go on to try to practice magic for another person. Because how can you focus energy towards an intention when you don't even know how that energy is moving to make what you want happens? That was a lot. I hope that wasn't too complex. Did you guys get that? Did you understand that? Are y'all following me here? If you're following me and this is making sense, leave it in the comments below. Another thing also is your protection. Absolutely vital, your own protection when you're doing spell work for someone else. Because again, things can shift, things can backfire. If you're doing a spell for a person that maybe has had some work done, let's say you're doing a jinx removal or a hex removal or whatever it is that this person is being affected by the hands of someone else. So let's say somebody cursed your best friend and here you are trying to cleanse them and help get rid of that or do a reverse on return to sender. And the person that cursed your friend gets wind of it, because nothing's done in the dark, honey. You can get a reading and find out anything. Now you're in a witch war with somebody because it's a back and forth, sending it back. You're trying to cleanse, you're trying to send, they're sending it back. Now you are in a energetic battle, and all you were trying to do was help your friend. And lastly, and I'm gonna touch on this a little bit more, you don't want someone else's spiritual attachments attaching themselves to you. Because when you are spiritual, when you are open, when you are enlightened, when you are practicing magic and you are new, you're a newbie witch, you are vulnerable, okay? It's just like a baby, a newborn. Babies don't have very strong immune systems. They get sick very easily. Witches, new witches, you're just now coming into your power. You don't have a strong immunity in your defensive magic yet. So do you really want to help this person that you love and have whatever energy, whatever spirit is lurking around, whatever jinky spirit has created their problem, attaching itself to you? And now it's your new best friend. Yeah, I don't think so. So these are a few things to consider before you run out and do a spell for your best friend, your loved one, your spouse. Protect yourself and really assess, is it worth it to you? The last thing I'm going to leave you guys on this is really consider, are you in the position to help other people? And I'm not saying this to put anyone down, but I find, and I know people in my personal acquaintance circle who have been dabbling in magic for a couple of months, and all of a sudden now they want to do all these spells for people. That's great that you want to help. But if you haven't mastered your own craft, if you can't figure your way out of your own paper bag, how are you going to help anybody else? If your spells have not been effective for yourself, how are you going to be able to help someone else out of their situation? If you think about any career profession on earth, you have to go through a period of training. Doctors go to school, they go to college, they go to graduate school. Doctors go to school for 8 years, pre-med, medical school. You know, mechanics go to school and learn how to take apart cars. Hairdressers have to take courses, cosmetology. You have to know what it is that you're doing, and you have to study for a significant amount of time. They don't just let somebody, 1 week, 2 weeks, you've been practicing, you've been in medical school for 3 weeks or 3 months, and we're going to give you a scalpel and go let you perform surgery. No, it doesn't work that way, okay? So these are things that you have to keep in mind. If you're new or you haven't mastered your own self-mastery should occur before you even consider doing a spell for another person. And truth be told, spells that are performed for yourself, on yourself, are always going to be more effective than somebody else doing it for you. So maybe sharing the knowledge that you have with your loved one, directing them to the resources, and tell them to do their magic themselves and use their energy to fix the problem which they have created. All right, my loves, that's it. I tried to keep this simple, short, and sweet and to the point. I hope this was helpful. I hope this gave you some guidance. If you like this video and you want me to produce more of them, let me know by giving this video a thumbs up. I would love to try to get this to at least 100 likes. Please follow me on social media. I am on Instagram at One Ritual Away. If you'd like to book a private consultation, reading with me either over the phone or in person, I'm in Los Angeles. I'm also offering one-on-one teaching courses on manifesting your best life and learning how to harness your energy for magic. All the information, how to reach me, will be in the description box and on my website at oneritualaway.com. I love you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time.